I would like to talk about ableism in the natural healing world. That includes a lot of different things. I'm thinking about yoga to herbalism and all the things in between. And I want to start that conversation by critiquing this statement. Before you heal yourself, you must be willing to give up what made you sick. This is actually a variation of a quote from Hippocrates, who said, before you heal someone, ask him if he's willing to give up what's making him sick, or something to that effect. I've seen this circulated a lot, and it's usually shared by people I admire a lot, people I think are amazing, and so I'm sharing this because I think that the people who circulate that meme and that quote have a good intention, and I think they're the kinds of people who would want to hear this and do better. This statement is operating under a lot of problematic assumptions, and the first one is that health and wellness are the pinnacle of humanness, when in reality, disability and sickness are part of what it means to have this human experience. And that is looking at the world through this ableist mindset that tells us that disability and illness are inherently negative, and they're not. This statement is also operating under the assumption that people get better, and that is looking at the world through an ableist scope. Some people are born sick, some people get sick, but not everyone gets better. Saying before you ask for healing, make sure you're willing to give up what made you sick, can be seen as putting the blame on the sick person. And when we're speaking about people with disabilities or chronic illness, we need to think about internalized ableism, which contributes to a lot of guilt that these people feel, that I feel, and that ranges from not being able to keep up with your peers, not being able to do the things that you used to do or that you want to do, or not being well. And a statement like this can really make those feelings stronger. It really fosters that sense of guilt. And my third big issue with this statement is that some people might be doing things or be a part of a situation that is contributing to their pain or their sickness or keeping them from healing. But the point here is that not everyone has the privilege to stop that behavior or to remove themselves from that situation. Some examples of this might be people who only have access to or who can only afford certain foods, or people in abusive situations, or self-deprecating behaviors brought on by mental health conditions. And again, these things might be causing certain symptoms, but the patient is not at fault for doing them. The overarching sentiment is that this thought is unhealthy. No matter what the illness, people don't choose to be sick, and it isn't as simple as choosing to do better, even when we're talking about mental health. And no matter what we do, people will always get sick. When healers share quotes, memes, thoughts like this, they are alienating a lot of people from communities like the disabled community, the chronically ill community, and I'm not trying to position myself as some kind of expert on the topic, and I'm certainly not trying to speak on behalf of all chronically ill or disabled people, but I do think that this language is dangerous, and I think that we can do better. If I gave up what made me sick, I would literally be giving up my genetics. I would be someone else, and I like who I am. So I'd like to hear from you. Have you seen this statement or something similar circulating? And if so, what are your thoughts and feelings about it? I would really like to hear from anyone who is disabled or chronically ill, and I would like to hear whether or not you feel alienated by the natural healing communities. I would like to have that conversation, so join me.